ability. Expected to be a major factor for the 6th-ranked Tar Heels this year. Carolina's in the white, California Baptist is in the blue. Sit back and enjoy this one from Dorrance Fields.
First 10 to 15 minutes, Matt, I think are really important for North Carolina, and they're important because this is the home opener. Your energy, your adrenaline can get going a little too much. You're early in the year too, so your legs aren't completely there. You don't want to run yourself tired in the first third of this game.
And we mentioned, Kyle, home opener for North Carolina. This is not the season opener for either team. Tar Heels 1-0 winners at UAB Thursday night on the road to open up the year. California Baptist in the second game of a 2-game East Coast swing. Scoreless draw against American University in suburban Washington, D.C. on Thursday night.
It's something that we talked with their coach about, and it's a thing they've done a couple of years in a row now, where they take a big East Coast trip early in the season, and they want to get a little reward out of it, but they also want to play a big-time matchup, so they get that sign on to get the home game later from, in this instance, American, and say, hey, we're on the East Coast. What team can we go give our student athletes a great experience and challenge ourselves with?
The game against North Carolina is what came across. Sam Williams, a little bit worse for the wear. Junior has been a key member of the Tar Heel lineup for the last 3 years.
A little late on that tackle there from Mendez coming from behind.
So a free kick for Carolina about 25 or so yards away.
And something interesting that you didn't see much last year, but Vitchian lining up to possibly take this free kick. He's a big body, and he was a big target on these set pieces in the box last year.
Vitchian, left side of your screen, 9 in white. Juan Cafaro, 10 in white, also over the ball. So a couple of options for Carlos Samuano's Tar Heels here on a chance less than 2 minutes into the game. It is Vitchian who takes a crack straight on goal, and Hugo Dorrego gets to that far post.
It's a good strike. Put it in a spot where if the keeper doesn't make this save, he's going to get himself a goal. Just able to miss that 4-man wall.
Deep turnover. Williams takes a look, and it's punched over by Dorrego. A busy start for the sophomore from Luxembourg.
Already California Baptist realizing that they've got to be tight on their passes. They cannot afford to turn it over in their own zone.
And Kyle, the Tar Heels, both on the free kick and then off of that turnover, not afraid to take looks from distance. First corner of the game for Carolina. In swinging ball, top of the 6. A little bit too heavy for Riley Thomas and Charlie Harper. It squirts away unharmed for the Lancers.
Wasn't a bad ball. Had 2 players there, just couldn't connect on the end of it.
Carlos Samuano won a national title in his first year as Carolina's head coach back in 2011. Now starting out year number 14.
He's knocked on the door quite a few times since then. Hasn't quite been able to break through for title number 2 though.
Multiple trips back to the College Cup, a trip to the national quarterfinals a year ago. Here's Andrew Check on the overlapping run. His cross will fall to Parker O'Farrell. O'Farrell takes a shot just wide.
Again, a turnover deep in their own zone, and Carolina so quick to take that turnover and turn it into opportunities. Wanted that cross, but they've got players on the back end, so you end up with a shot just a little bit wide.
Kyle, this is a different intensity, a different energy level for the Tar Heels compared to what they came out with to start the game against UAB on Thursday night.
I'm sure that was probably talked about after that game against UAB, that, listen, you got to come out, you can't be flat. You're number 6 in the country. You got a target on your back every single game. Harper
being pursued, and Andrew Cortez picks it up in his mitts for the Tar Heels. No goalkeeper controversy for Carolina this season. Cortez, the redshirt junior from Denver, was the 3rd keeper on the roster at the start of last year. Thrust into duty mid-September due to injury. All he did was post one of the best goals against averages, 3rd in the nation. Here come the Tar Heels. Ball cleared away. Alex Henderson, graduate defender, 6 in blue. Graduate transfer from Georgia State, was able to clear it off the line for a throw.
What a great story Cortez is. Was a starter the year prior to becoming the 3rd string keeper, and injuries are what gave him the opportunity. And he said, listen, I'm not even going to bother getting down on the depth chart. Just give me the job from day 1 this season.
Let that be a lesson to young players anywhere. You know, you have a year where you're the starter, you're the guy, but yet your program went to the portal in the case of bringing in Colin Travasos a year ago, and you get beat out, but you stay ready. And when Cortez's number was called, he posted one of the best seasons by a Tar Heel goalkeeper in program history.
That says so much about the character of a person, too, beyond their abilities on the field, to deal with that and stay with it, stay a good teammate.
Tar Heels conceded 2 goals in the game just once all of last year. That was in a 2-2 draw, which they would advance on penalty kicks in the NCAA tournament against Hofstra. Fitchian, back heel flick. Czech keeps possession. Czech taken down inside the box. Play on, and California Baptist will have a goal kick.
Fitchian was trying to get himself on ESPN tonight with this little heel kick. Great ball to get him in behind that line, and this almost worked for Carolina.
The fact that Fitchian was able to connect with Czech on that. It's one thing to do that to keep the ball in play.
To actually get it to where your intended spot is.
It's a veteran move from a player in Fitchian who's in his 6th season of college soccer. Has the extra year of eligibility due to the pandemic. Also suffered a season-ending injury in his freshman year at Harvard. So played 2 seasons for the Crimson, now in his 2nd season at North Carolina. There's the aforementioned Henderson. Playing it back to Dorrego. 17 new faces, just 11 returning players for California Baptist. It is a new-look Lancers team compared to the one that won the WAC a couple of years back.
Yeah, it's a new look in terms of a lot of the names on the roster, but the coaching staff, the culture, all of that is still the same, and they're hoping that what they have built, and if you were with us in the Open, back-to-back conference championships, back-to-back to NCAA championships, that can translate to this team and this group this season.
Co Michelson, the only Division I head coach in California Baptist program history. He's in his 9th season overall as the head man there in Southern California. He said, you know, when he was recruiting the group of players that became the upperclassmen anchors of the program that went to the tournament the last couple of years, he was selling them on faith and belief and a vision for what his Lancers program could be. Now there's something tangible there. There's 2 straight conference titles, 2 straight NCAA tournaments, and a program that just continues to build as the years go along.
When you go into a young man's living room, whether it's to recruit him as a freshman or a transfer, and you say you want to compete for a national championship, great, so do I. And you end it there, that's tough. When you can back it up with, we're in the NCAA tournament every year, it's got a little bit behind it now. Now you can go get some players that maybe they couldn't back in 2018 or 19.
Became postseason eligible starting the fall of 2022. Went to the tournament that year. Nice move. Here come the Lancers. Luca Cazamara, transfer from Pitt, down in the corner. Blocked out a play by Riley Thomas. That'll be a throw just inside the corner flag for California Baptist.
I'll tell you, for a program having success like that, getting to back-to-back tournaments, talking about this game, there was no fear from the coaching staff coming into it. They said, listen, we're not going to sit back. We're not coming to Carolina to just sit back in formation and hope we don't give up a goal. We're going to attack.
Because if you're the Lancers, what do you have to lose? You can either pick up a program-changing win or a tremendous learning opportunity as you head back west to continue non-conference play next week.
And in the middle of those 2 ends is it's something that can really bolster your program for a resume if you need to get an out of conference.
Kept alive, top of the box. This is Dominic De Almeida. Georgetown transfer is calling for a handball in the box. Blasted the other way by O'Farrell. And Javier Rodriguez, the 4th official across the way, quickly putting up his hand to the California Baptist coaching staff, saying, calm down, calm down.
But to finish the point, if you can pick up a out-of-conference big-time win against a top 10 team, that goes a long way in a potential at-large bid. And now when you get to your conference tournament, there's not as much pressure on you to go win the whole thing.
And that's what Co Michelson said. He said, you know, the last couple of years, our path to the postseason has been through our conference, and that works. You win a nice trophy, you get the automatic bid. But he pointed out the WAC is a conference that's good enough to routinely have at-large bids. It's a program that would like to be in contention for one. Juan Cafaro, 2 defenders on him, back into space. Here is Czech, dispossessed Cazamara. Cross toward the top of the box, play back out. Thomas toward the center of the park. Mendez in pursuit. 9 in blue for the Lancers, 20 points a year ago.
See both sides really pressing the ball here early goings.
Great tempo, great intensity to this game early on, Kyle. Long ball for Vitchian. Flag stays down, but it'll bounce past his mitts. And is gloved up there by Dorrego.
Dorrego has been challenged here early from Carolina. He's come up with a couple of big saves. Sometimes for a keeper, that's what you really need. You get into the game early. You don't have to have any kind of sit around wait. You're engaged right away.
Dorrego, one of the new starters for the Lancers. Nolan Primack, two-year starting goalkeeper, was the MVP of the WAC tournament 2022 out of eligibility. Kazamara began his college career at Temple, then on to Pitt, now California Baptist. Jan Quizbell, curving ball toward the top of the 6, headed out of trouble by Charlie Harper. Matthew Acosta, a Rutgers transfer, 3 years as a Scarlet Knight, 5 in white, first season at Carolina. There's Hilly, we talked about right off the top. Transferred from just down the road at NC State. Better play with O'Farrell, out wide. Toward Vitchian. Tumbled down, play on, clean play, says John McCloskey, our center referee tonight.
That's a good job staying strong and staying with your mark. Vitchian's such a big target at 6'4". If he can get his back to the goal there, that's a dangerous spot for the Lancers.
Alex Henderson, 6'3", the center back for California Baptist. He's going toe-to-toe with Vitchian tonight. That is a physical matchup.
I love that call there because it went to Vitchian, it drew that extra defender, and he left it off. It just wasn't a very good kick on the back end for Cafaro.
Tar Heels with the early edge and shots, 5-0. California Baptist has had their moments of possession. Quizbell playing directly toward Mendez.
It wasn't a bad thought there from the Lancers. Credit Carolina's defense, though, holding strong on the back line. Sometimes you get so much pressure forward, you get caught sleeping. That's what they were trying to do, is get a ball over the top.
And while that can be a good idea, I think if you're Co Michelson and the Lancers, you want to see your team be able to build a little more. It's difficult, though, against this Carolina pressure.
It is, and you've seen that. They've had trouble even getting the ball up towards midfield.
Quick touch by O'Farrell. Hilly, 1v1. Nice clean tackle, ball taken away. Stavros Karlampos, 8 in blue, native of Cyprus, the small island nation in the Eastern Mediterranean. He plays in their national team program. He's expected to be a key player for California Baptist this year. Meanwhile, offside flag goes up after Vitchian's touch. There's Karlampos. Came on strong at the end of last year. Co Michelson said, I was surprised that he didn't make all-conference a season ago. He was an all-WAC freshman team selection.
That's something that as a player you can use, put a chip on your shoulder and go out and prove.
Alex Mendez, no relation to Leo Mendez. Mendez in pursuit. Cortez bangs it away for a California Baptist throw. This feels like a key moment about 15 minutes into the proceedings tonight for the Lancers.
You're about 15 in, you're settled into this game. Pace is what it is. You're looking for that first little spark offensively to, one, give you some momentum, but also give that defense a little bit of a break.
Carolina's had the possession. They've been peppering California Baptist's defensive unit with shots. Luis Barrero in an offside position.
Really veteran backline group for Carolina. Good job communicating, sticking together.
And worth noting, it's a backline group that is different from what the Tar Heels rolled out Thursday night in Birmingham. Tate Johnson, highly touted freshman from the Tampa Bay Rowdies, received 2 yellow cards in that game against UAB, so he is suspended tonight. But even without Johnson, Parker O'Farrell, who made 18 starts a year ago, came off the bench Thursday. He's back in the starting 11 tonight for Carlos Zamorano's team.
That's a nice luxury to have, a player like that coming off the bench.
Coach Zamorano bringing back the bulk of his team that reached the program's 14th NCAA quarterfinal a year ago. 1 win shy of the College Cup. Bolstered that roster with one of the top 15 freshman classes in the nation and some very experienced, very successful transfers.
There's one thing about a Carlos Zamorano team is that by the end of the season, they're going to be much better than they were at the beginning. He truly believes about building throughout the year to make that run once you get towards the postseason.
If there's a term I would use to describe Carlos Zamorano and his coaching style, it would be process-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
He loves the development process that a team can achieve through training sessions throughout the year, just through the flow of games. Routinely, his teams hit their peak at the right time, and last year was certainly the case. They won just 2 of their 8 conference games, drew 3 of them. They were at their best come conference tournament and NCAA tournament time.
And part of that is they'll play with different situations, different connections, different combos out there on the field to see what he likes best, what will work best for them before kind of finally putting all the puzzle pieces together at the end of the season.
Drew Clemson in the ACC championship game a year ago. Clemson won the trophy on PKs. There's the Tigers pulling off the double as well, winning the national championship over Notre Dame. All ACC final a year ago in Louisville. Here's Check. Change of directions. Connects with Hilly. Back centrally, middle of the park. Dispossessed. Good takeaway there. Speaking of Clemson, Josh Hallenberger, 7 in blue, began his college career as a Clemson Tiger. A hustle from Riley Thomas. Keep that ball in play and back to the Tar Heels.
Seeing things slow down now. Lancer's kind of settling in on defense. Look for Carolina, who is a very possession-oriented team, to start picking and prodding, see what weaknesses they can find.
Well, check out how far up the outside backs are playing in Andrew Check on the near side of your screen, and then on the far side, Parker O'Farrell. They are way, way up overlap with the holding midfielders in Williams and Acosta.
Well, that's trust in your midfielders, but also trust in those outside backers that they're going to be able to get themselves back if there's a turnover or something.
John McCloskey letting him play tonight. Barrero remains down for California Baptist, just now getting to his feet. Otto Gustafsson, Swedish native. Again, late of the Georgetown transfer. Long ball. Hallenberger making his run against Charlie Harper. And Harper just has that extra gear to be able to get there. California Baptist has tried this a couple of times, Kyle, and we talked about it earlier on. That direct long ball down one of the wings. They have been unable to pick apart the Carolina back line using that tactic.
And it'll be interesting to see if they stay that way after halftime. I know we still got 25 to go here in this first half, but we saw them trying to play through the midfield, had some turnovers that almost cost them a goal, and now we've seen to go to that long pass over the top.
That shot number has been at 5-0 Carolina for the bulk of this first half as Cortez bangs it away. Henderson.
Caught with a little push.
It's Jan Quizbel, 1 year at Butler last year for the Dutch native.
Got to do all you can when you're 5'8" going against 6'1".
Ahmad Alquak was the Tar Heel who received the push, and it's Alquak who's involved in the play down the channel.
There's a name who we haven't talked about a lot, but man, what an offensive player he can be when everything is clicking for him.
Utilizing the extra year of eligibility to play a 5th season at Carolina. And the veteran players for Carlos Simwano's team.
11 points last year, which was 3rd on the team.
And that huge goal against Wake Forest in the ACC tournament's quarterfinal rounds. Now is one of 2 Alquaks on the roster. His younger brother Ali, true freshman for the team.
I'm sure that played into the decision to make sure you get back for that one more year that you've got. A chance to be able to play with your younger brother.
Doesn't hurt, does it? Andrew Check for Vichin. Nice interplay with Check. Check keeps it in. Crossing pass played out of the box. Mendez splits a couple of defenders. Lancers have some numbers the other direction. Good tackle, though, by Riley Thomas. He might be taking the brunt of it, though. Thomas back to his feet. Here come the Tar Heels, lightning quick the other direction. Alquak. Williams back for Acosta. Switch of play, Check. Check to the top of the 6. Too heavy for Vichin. Into the gloves of Dorrego.
Carolina is a team that'll show a lot of patience on the offensive side of things. Keep possession. But if they see an opening, they are quick to strike there.
Mentioned Carolina playing with a visibly higher intensity than the UAB game on Thursday night. For California Baptist, head coach Co Michelson said his team was not as crisp in the opener against American versus their exhibition games that they played prior to the trip east. He said, you know, it's kind of a sign that cross-country travel is a real thing.
It absolutely is. That time change is no joke. And you add that with so many newcomers to that formula, and there's going to be some bumps in the road. But that's why they play these cross-country trips early.
But Teal Hansen, you saw check in for the Tar Heels. First substitution of the night brings the freshman from Denmark into the contest. Hansen competed off the bench on Thursday night for Carolina. It is worth noting, if you missed the news in the offseason, there was a change to the substitution rule in men's college soccer. There's a heavy collision. Vichin against Dorrego. Ball stays loose in the box. Quizbel will get it out of there for California Baptist.
I think Dorrego got a fist to that one. Really good read by him.
So to finish the housekeeping, you are still permitted to re-enter the game in the second half if you are substituted out in the first half. But it used to be that you could play in the second half, be substituted out in that half, and then re-enter. That rule in Division I men's soccer has gone away. So now, if you're substituted off in the second half at any point, you are done for the game. You may not re-enter in that second half.
And I think that's a nice equilibrium between kind of the free-for-all that it was and what you see on the Olympic international stage.
Good ball for a streaking Barrero. Played away, though. Charlie Harper with the speed. How many times in the early going tonight, Kyle, have we talked about Charlie Harper's ability to close down?
Well, that's why one of the big things as a defender is to have that extra gear to be able to recover and help your teammate out. Nice ball.
Nice ball, far post. It's O'Farrell who plays it out of trouble.
I felt like he should have headed that one.
It was Hallenberger who was in the neighborhood for California Baptist. To your point, Kyle, there's a happy medium between the free-for-all subs and international play that you see in the World Cup and in the professional game, where there's more space between games.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, is they're not playing Thursday, Sunday, twice a week. And you're also dealing with kids that are in college. So
correct.
You need to give them a little bit more of a break.
We've even seen the pro game go from 3 substitutes to 5 substitutes in recent years. Erik Kronstad, sophomore from Norway, all WAC freshman team pick a year ago. The game for California Baptist.
And I think what it'll ultimately do on the bigger picture, not just talking about individuals, but teams.
Faro saw it played away. Alquak past Vitchian, couldn't time it up.
Is you're going to end up getting more parity. You're not going to have a North Carolina who is okay having the 16th, 17th, 18th player on their bench be somebody that's going to play, because you can't play them now. So those players are going to go elsewhere, and you're going to have some smaller clubs or some not as well known, like maybe a California Baptist, who can pick up some of those players.
Tar Heels played just 14 bodies Thursday night. Casamaro, case in point there, transferring from Pittsburgh. Barrero, Mendez, and Harper in a foot race to it. It's Harper again. Nice tackle. Mendez wins it back. Leo Mendez, center of the park. Kronstad the substitute. Kronstad taken down. Not a cardable offense, but Sam Williams still whistled for the infraction. Here comes a dangerous free kick for California Baptist, about 23, 24 yards away.
Williams didn't realize it, but he had Cafaro coming in from behind that play to help him out. Could have been able to take that ball away without causing the foul. But on the other side, if you're California Baptist, you've been working for this opportunity. Make the most of it. Put this ball on frame.
At a minimum, try and find a way to register your first shot attempt of the game on Andrew Cordes. It is Hallenberger and Casamara over the ball. Hallenberger 7, Casamara 29. Hallenberger directly on frame, sails it over the bar.
And that was the right approach. Strike it hard, strike it true, just a little bit high though. You force the keeper to move the feet. Didn't have to make the save because it sailed, but at least you put it in his head. You've got a little bit going on the offensive side. Can they build off of it though?
Josh Hallenberger made his college debut for Clemson October of 2020 against North Carolina.
I'm sure that he's somebody that talked to his teammates about, what to expect from an ACC caliber school.
He's been there himself, part of the national championship team in 21. Farrell for Acosta. Cafaro. Long ball ahead, Hansen. Flag stays down. Hansen races to keep it inside the sideline. Hansen back centrally. Can't connect with Chet. Hansen just wide of the post.
Instead of serving that in, looking for somebody to crash, should have struck that as a shot. He had an open lane.
Yeah, we saw the Tar Heels come out and take 2 blistering looks from distance in the first 5 minutes or so of the game. Haven't really seen that from Carolina in that area of the field, right around the top of the 18-yard box or just a little bit beyond. Long crosser for Barrero, not enough on it. Casamaro wins the second ball though. Cafaro for Williams. Acosta now. Hansen, the freshman, off the bench. Hansen trying to get the corner turn. Fires off across, far post. Heavy for Vitchian.
Hansen has showed a couple of good bursts of speed off the bench.
Big frame, 6'1", 180, an ability to provide that burst of energy and give Hilly a little bit of a breather down the stretch here in the first half.
Yeah, especially early in the year where you're still building your game legs. You go through all the endurance building you want, but nothing like playing a full 90.
Nice flick, Vitchian. Williams can't find a lane to shoot. There, a shot is taken well away. That was Acosta who banged it nowhere near the frame.
Good movement side to side with the ball for the Tar Heels. Open up a hole through that defense. Just got to get on top of that strike.
Led the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Minutes played a year ago. Nearly 1,500 for Acosta, New Jersey native. Taken back by Alquak. Vician for Cafaro. Cafaro cross to Rego.
It's the first time we've seen a turnover deep in their own zone, but it directly results in another good opportunity here for Carolina.
All of a sudden, Hugo Dorregos had to get active back there between the pipes for California Baptist. Next goal the Lancers concede would be their first allowed this season. Scoreless draw with American Thursday night.
Yeah, that's an encouraging result to go on the road against a quality American team, coast-to-coast travel, and so much newness. And goalkeeper and on your back line and not give up a goal. That's one thing you can take away as a positive, the building block.
Here's Hansen again showing off the speed. Henderson, the veteran, sends it over the sideline, but a deep throw for the Tar Heels. Andrew Check to toss it in. Feet of Cafaro, top of the box. Cafaro keeps it at his feet. Cafaro now dispossessed. That was Karalampos, the Cyprian. Karalampos involved in the attack. Hard contact results in a California Baptist foul. Sam Williams for the Tar Heels.
Wasn't a lot of contact, but anytime contact comes from behind, you're going to get a whistle.
Sam Williams, the product of the New York Red Bulls Academy. Absolute mainstay in the Tar Heels starting 11 since he arrived at Carolina 2 years ago. One of those special players that earns the playing time right from the get-go as a true freshman.
Yeah, both he and Riley Thomas have been playing so much from day one. It seems like they've been around for a decade.
Well, Riley Thomas is halfway there. He's in year 5. It's the last year of the bonus eligibility due to the pandemic. So you're not that far off, Kyle. Check. Out off California Baptist for another Tar Heel throw.
Yeah, I'd like to see that more from the Lancers. If they don't have a nice passing lane through the midfield, instead of trying to force something and turn it over, back pass and let the keeper boot it out to midfield.
And we've seen them not only this game, but Thursday as well against American. It's a Lancers team that likes to build from the back, but is trying to pick and choose their spots to play a bit more direct here tonight. There's a turnover. Karalampos quickly back for De Almeida. Quick, crisp passing. Can't keep the sequence up. Some fresh bodies getting sent to come into the game for California Baptist. The Lancers, even with all the new faces that they have on the roster this year, there's a couple of returning starters, and David Cordes, no relation to Andrew Cordes of Carolina, despite the same spelling of the last name, as well as Drew Harden, who was the WAC Freshman of the Year. The two of them started double-digit games a year ago. They're unavailable for California Baptist for this game, so it just adds to the newness for Co Michelson's team.
And they were not available for American, so another reason that even though you don't get the goal to win, you don't succeed one, you feel okay about it. And I think ultimately in the long term, it'll help your team because you know those two are going to be important. What's the rest of the team going to gel like?
Hansen's cross played away. Check, a second opportunity.
knew he had no chance going far post, so just tried to get it to the inside post and wrapped his foot completely around it. But a nice build here from Carolina. There's that burst from Hansen. Freshman has been impressive here in this first half.
But Teal Hansen has the ability to win 1v1 matchups, and we've seen it from the moment that he got off the bench tonight. And in our talking about Williams and his career for Carolina, Riley Thomas and how much he's played through the years. If you're a true freshman and you get on the field for North Carolina under Carlos Samuano, it means you are a very special player.
You've got some real talent.
Daniel Lugo waiting to check in, sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida. Martin Vician will sit for the final 9 minutes or so of this first half.
This is where, as a coach, with that re-entry rule, you can play the game and buy a couple extra minutes of rest.
Long service. Williams cleared it out of the second ball. Switch of play. Thomas wearing the captain's armbands. Cafaro. Good long one for Hansen. Hansen takes the contact. Lugo keeps it. Hansen. Inside the box. Puts on the brakes. Curves back in. But Teal Hansen swarmed by 2 blue jerseys. Check out the motor on the freshman from Denmark. Cross blocked, eventually floats over the sideline for a Carolina throw.
And he is gassed right now, and rightfully so. It was all over the place on the pitch, that one.
But that's his job as a substitute. You come in and you empty the tank. Kazumara, the outside backs for the Lancers, have been busy tonight. Corner for Carolina. Second of the night for the Tar Heels, to be taken by Juan Cafaro.
An eye on the back post. Riley Thomas coming from the back line.
Cafaro in swinger. It is Thomas who heads it out to Alquak. Alquak sails it high. You had it right there. That ball was going to Riley Thomas.
And I like the play to get it back to the top of the box from him. Alquak just couldn't settle that one to get a good strike. Nice crowd here for the home opener.
Really good crowd. A lot of students in attendance. You know, last week was syllabus week here at Carolina, so not much of a dose of the Sunday scaries at this point in the semester.
My niece went to first grade this year, and she came home after her first day crying, I was told. And so why was she so upset? My brother said, well, she was mad because all they did was get their syllabus and they didn't learn anything. Well, that's not too bad. She's got a good head on her shoulders. I would have been doing jumping jacks. All right, no school.
What do you want, an essay?
She would have loved it.
Well, Co Michelson, the head coach of the Lancers, while he's been building this California Baptist program the last couple of years, he's also been pursuing his PhD.
Absolutely blows my mind. I talked with him for a good 15 minutes just about that aspect of his life.
Earned that doctorate from California Baptist last year. His dissertation involved a quantitative study of the impact of leadership training on college sports teams.
He told us it's the only one done. He's the only one who's done this.
Pretty remarkable. Juan Cafaro to take this third point of the game for Carolina. Cafaro to the far post, and Thomas played out. Williams on the ground, blocked again. Hansen on the other side of the field. Acosta. That's Riley Thomas, well up from his backline spot. Thomas curving. Lugo off the bench. Backheel flick. Lugo just to the inside of the near post.
There was some good defense from the Lancers, especially off that corner kick, because Carolina got exactly what they wanted. The ball to Riley Thomas. He was able to play it back in and even earned his second opportunity. And that's one of the reasons you get that armband for the C is he's got so much versatility. A guy who's played in the midfield, back on that back line, but hey, you need me up for a set piece? Let's go do it.
Let's do it. But our conversation with Co Michelson, we asked, okay, you know, you're building this program. You talked about how you took it from faith and belief in what the Lancers could be into a tournament team. And you're also pursuing the PhD. Why? And he said, because I'm just an achiever and
a learner.
Yeah. Someone that likes that challenge. He said there are plenty of people that dropped out of the program, but he stuck with it. Completed the dissertation and the study on Lancer sports teams. Cafaro played away by Dorrego. Somehow kept in then by O'Farrell. And ushered out for a goal kick. Last touch, Carolina.
Find yourself with some distance. Go ahead and let one rip. And I love following that in. If that deflection goes anywhere but where it did, O'Farrell has a prime opportunity to get Carolina on the board. I think that ball clipped the defender, changed the direction of it a little bit too.
That shot number is swollen heavily the last couple of minutes. Now 13-1 Carolina. That was just the fourth though on frame tonight. Hansen wins possession back near midfield. Cafaro with it. Cafaro out wide for Hansen. All sorts of space. Lugo's the crosser. Hansen though right into Dorrego.
Had the right thought of crossing that ball and keeping it on the ground, but you got to keep it away from the goal mouth. Allow your trailing teammates to have an opportunity.
So Kyle, final 3 minutes of this opening half. A high-intensity half. Carolina's had moments where they've created flurries of chances. California Baptist has tried to pick apart the Tar Heel pressure. Ultimately, though, unless you get one moment of brilliance, this game looks likely to be headed to the locker room knotted scoreless.
I think the last thing either team wants is to give up a goal. North Carolina has dominated possession. The last thing you want to do is find yourself down at the half. And for the Lancers, they have been so good defensively, that bend but don't break mentality. If you give up a goal after fighting for 40+ minutes, it kind of can take some wind out of your sails.
Especially at this point in the half. It's Hansen though again. Hansen to the top of the sixth. Check, or rather Lugo couldn't settle it cleanly. It is last touched by the Lancers and a Carolina corner.
Nice job by Check just to flick that one in, and Hansen with a lot of time plays it back, little ping pong action. Carolina gets another corner.
Lugo tried to backheel it just at the last second. Service on the corner. Ball will sail away. Tar Heels pleading that it was touched. They won another corner. Nothing doing. One minute left in this first half. Let's see, does the argument have merit?
Because of the direction the ball goes after Lugo hits it, I think maybe, but I couldn't see the ball actually hit anybody on California Baptist.
Riley Thomas. Acosta, center of the park. Hansen will win it back. 20 seconds left. Cafaro leading one last push. Check inside the box. Check. Shot is blocked. Out to the center. Now California Baptist with some late numbers in 10 seconds to try and do something with it. Taken back by Williams. 4 seconds and 3. That's how the half will come to a close. Well, Kyle, a couple of teams that advanced in the NCAA tournament a season ago, playing a competitive first half. As you said, Carolina's dominated possession.
Defensive opportunities.
Still, though, if you are Co Michelson, the head coach of the Lancers, your team has now played 3 consecutive halves without conceding a goal. Have to be pretty pleased with your team's defensive effort to start out the season.
Yeah, I mean, especially with as many new faces as there are on the backside, I think offensively, he feels pretty comfortable about where they're going to end up, especially once they're at full strength.
He said he expects a deeper, more balanced attack. As the program replaces Luis Mueller, last season's leading scorer, now plays with LAFC in Major League Soccer. Here's Carolina coming out quickly in the second half. Vitchian couldn't quite get there to get ahead on it.
Gustafson with good defense there. And it hasn't been one player for California Baptist on that back line that has stood out as they've had a really good night. I think the squad, the unit as a whole, has.
And we've not seen Uli Martinez, who is one of the players that was projected to return on the back line. He started on Thursday night against American. A very new look, gelling back four for California Baptist, and they play well. Tar Heels 1-0 winners on the road against UAB Thursday night. Martin Vitchian buried a penalty kick in the 71st minute. Luke Hilly keeps possession. Hilly inside the box. Long cross for Cafaro on the ground. Cafaro will get there. Williams. Sam Williams back for Andrew Check. Quick passing centrally for Acosta. Acosta. Long distance shot easily played by Dorrego.
You see from North Carolina on each ends of the field there, they had an opportunity to play across it, but they chose not to. More comfortable playing straight on, trying to build and taking that shot from distance.
Dominic De Almeida, graduate student and a graduate transfer from Georgetown, down in a seated position. Played 4 seasons with the Hoyas, now last year of eligibility as a California Baptist Lancer. So let's try and take a look at what happened here, Kyle.
Number 14 there, top of the screen, right by the box, and didn't really see much from it. He's at the bottom of your screen here. It must have been something that had happened prior to the play. Pushed through it, and as soon as his teammate had possession, I don't think it was cramps. A little bit too early in the game yet, but it could have been because we're so early in the season. It doesn't look like they're going to sub him out. He'll come back in.
Good to see him jog back over there. His procedural move to go back over to the table. And now he's being waved back into the game. First ball won by the Lancers. Starting the second half, Blake DiAugustino, 21 in blue, freshman from Colorado.
Giving them a little bit more size, listed at 6'2", 190.
DiAugustino played significant minutes off the bench Thursday, doing so against an American then. Playing again here tonight.
A little bit of a questionable call there off of the free kick, trying to switch fields. Get the ball in play, get people moving, then switch fields. Especially considering that California Baptist hasn't had possession on that half of the field very much tonight.
Opportunities have been limited for the Lancers. 17-1 shot advantage for North Carolina. Now Quick burst of speed from Karlampos. Karlampos centrally for Alex Mendez. Mendez with space. Good ball into the pocket. There's De Almeida, who was down just a moment ago. He'll launch it to the top of the 6. Headed out of there by Czech. All the way back for Henderson. To your earlier point, Kyle, here is a chance for California Baptist to try and sustain possession of the ball. Have to be smart with this if you're the Lancers.
And I like that instead of just continuing to keep possession deep once Carolina was able to get everybody back, pull it back out. Try and spread some things out and see if you can open up a lane. Not going to work with that pass, though.
Long ball that'll float out for a goal kick. There's Andrew Lovell. Freshman off the bench in pursuit. What a great night for soccer at Dorrance Field. First of 10 home games for North Carolina, a Tar Heel team that reached the national quarterfinals a year ago. Fell 1-0 to Oregon State here at this facility. They were the number 3 national seed. So many key pieces back for the Tar Heels. They're thinking further than the quarterfinals this season.
Run for them to the quarterfinal last year. I feel like that was a season early. They weren't supposed to have as much success as they did between the quarterfinal run and getting to the ACC tournament final.
Well, last year the College Cup was in Louisville. This year it's back in Cary at Wake Med Soccer Park, and that's where the ACC tournament is as well. Tar Heels, as long as they receive a high seed, you've got the chance to play the entire postseason either at home or about 25 minutes from home.
Which will make it feel like it's at home.
Exactly.
It actually wasn't that long ago that they played their home games there for a couple of seasons while this stadium was being built.
That's right. 2017-2018 seasons. Tar Heels switch the point of attack. Charlie Harper for O'Farrell. Wasn't that long ago, but it's still before Riley Thomas's career. That's what we're going to use as the line of demarcation
for the full decade.
Was that a recent event, or was it a while ago? Matthew Acosta for Harper.
Good patience here from Carolina. See, they're trying to bait the Lancers to come out.
Played over the top for O'Farrell. Alquak. Top of the box. Evades his defender. Alquak. Trying to make one extra pass to Vichy. Kyle, I don't know if he should have shot that.
I thought he should have let it loose once he came back to his left foot. But I also understand that as soon as he came back to his left, he saw the white jersey flash.
Vicchian punched away from behind Dorrego. Williams keeps it for the Tar Heels. On the grounds, past Cafaro, and it'll float away harmlessly for the Lancers. That last attempt, if you're Alquak, he's got the range to be able to shoot it. Definitely powerful right-footed strike. But Martin Vicchian is so clinical in front of goal that I think there's a mindset for the Tar Heels to try and have Vicchian get the touch. He's such a physical player in that circumstance.
Yeah, if you see him there, just get the ball to him instead of maybe take the better play, which is the shot.
Vicchian in pursuit. Played right back over. Out it goes off Carolina. Corner for California Baptist, their second of the night. And a golden chance for the Lancers on this set piece.
A little unfortunate there for Carolina that this one goes out for a corner for the Lancers, but a huge opportunity for California Baptist.
Eric Kronstad, Norwegian sophomore, will take it. See if the Lancers go short here. There's another player standing right near Kronstad. Instead, it's a long ball played right to Andrew Cordes.
I think they wanted a little bit more on that to get it to the near post. DiAugustino was there.
Clock stops as that's Henderson who is down. Good show of sportsmanship. A couple of veteran players in their 5th year, both wearing the captain's armband. Oh yeah, Henderson, oh my gosh. He took contact to the face in a big way. Can't really see it showing that side of his face.
Probably the good side to see.
That is probably the family-friendly side. The good news is he looks to be okay, but let's see here.
Number 6 got that yellow armband, ran right into the shoulder of Czech. And actually, I think they may have headbutted each other. Incidental contact.
That is a really good sign. They'll evaluate him for a potential head injury here. That's the protocol that's going on over there, cleaning up the blood and checking for the head injury. Luka Kazamara, who started this game, checks back in for California Baptist. And we mentioned in the first half, if you were with us, the change to the substitution rule. There is the exception for injury. First ever meeting between North Carolina and California Baptist. Alex Henderson has played a key role on the back line, keeping this game scoreless for the Lancers, being attended to over on the sidelines. And I think we're going to have our first booking of the night here.
Came in with a bit of a hip check there, and it was a late one too.
John McCloskey talking things over with Eric Kronstad.
No card.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
Clean game. I like that. Good talking too, but no card.
That's a hey, you know, we still have a long way to go in this game. You got to be careful. We're not going to let that slide again. Physical, high-intensity game between two teams that are used to competing on a big stage. Both advanced in the NCAA tournament a year ago. California Baptist fell to Marshall in the second round, 3-0 after advancing past San Diego on PKs. As for North Carolina, Tar Heels beat Memphis in the second round after a first round bye. Moved past Hofstra on PKs in the round of 16. Ran into that Oregon State buzzsaw in the national quarterfinals. Riley Thomas. The Tar Heels possession-oriented style. California Baptist was starting to gain a little momentum a couple of minutes ago. They do win the ball back here. Karalampos cuts inside. Dispossessed. Good clean tackle by Hilly. All quack on it. Here are numbers for Carolina. Vitchian sails it past the post. That's one Martin Vitchian wants back.
That pass was just a little bit behind him, and he never got around. That's why it went wide. Almost wonder if he could have chipped this one on with multiple numbers. It's like Williams in there making a run as well.
Martin Vitchian, graduate student, his final year of college eligibility. Transfer from Harvard, native of Bratislava, Slovakia, the only world capital located on an international border.
How do you know that?
How do I know that? I went there this summer.
All right, that's an easy one.
Yeah. Good to see Alex Henderson back in, passing all the tests, getting the blood cleaned up. Just an early Halloween costume for Mr. Henderson.
Month early.
Alquak again through the channel past Fitchett. Especially in the second half, Tar Heels have been 1 or 2 passes away from a really high quality chance on Hugo Dorrego.
Those are the 1 or 2 passes that you see develop as the season goes on. And for Carolina, you hope with as many players as you brought back, you already have that chemistry.
Dominic De Almeida to toss it in. Luke Hilly. Back for Thomas. Hilly's been pretty quiet, all things considered. The NC State transfer, leading scorer for the Wolfpack a year ago.
There's been 1 or 2 times where we've seen him out in front helping to lead the charge, but overall, I think he's still trying to find his footing in this offense.
Carlampos, talented sophomore. Up here for California Baptist. Plenty of space and a long ball. Right to Cortez. Hallenberger was making the run. As by the way, California Baptist does not have Leo Mendez on the field right now. I'm going to save it for later, perhaps. Here's Acosta weaving into the box. Centering pass for Vicchia. A shot from Hilly right on cue. Hilly gets involved, but Dorrego is there.
And all the credit goes to Dorrego there because Carolina had numbers forward. Great job of one-touch passing. Got a ball on frame. Got numbers following the shot, but there's nobody to get a rebound when there is no rebound. Dorrego has been up to the challenge and looked impressive tonight.
Hugo Dorrego with his 6th save of the evening. First-year starting keeper for California Baptist. Hallenberger into the corner. Herrero over it. 1v1 against Czech. Tough matchup here. Good ball. Oh, nice move to keep it alive inside the box. D'Agostino against Charlie Harper. D'Agostino gets that corner turn. Did it go out with a Carolina touch? It did not. It's a goal kick for the Tar Heels. Possession more even in the second half. Shots not so much. 19-1 Carolina.
Yeah, I feel like California Baptist has been more confident on the ball.
This is a game still has a long way to go. Half an hour remaining. But it is a game where the winner, whoever walks away with the 3 points, it'll be a very high quality 3 points come tournament resume time, especially if you're California Baptist. Co Michelson believes his squad, the right combination of wins this year, can be in that at-large consideration. The WAC is a conference that's frequently there. Through ball from Alquak. Sliding attempt, pops free, cleared off the line. Gustafsson was right there at the right time. Near disaster for the Lancers.
Wow, that was a great job by Carolina, and the hustle to get to this ball and keep it in, and not just keep it in, but get a decent cross. It was actually off of a defender. Sometimes it takes more than just a keeper to keep it out of the goal.
Dorrego did his job. He got the mitt on it, but his deflection wasn't complete, and it tipped it back on a trajectory toward the goal. That had backspin on it. It was going in.
Off of his fingertips, it had that backspin. It was 100% going in.
And Otto Gustafsson, the sophomore from Sweden, keeps it out of the goal. Now, the other way. Can the Lancers get something done offensively after that burst of energy? Williams doesn't have the numbers, but taking it himself. Widens out for Hilly. Hilly cuts in, middle of the field. Cafaro touches it back at Costa. Alquak, he's dangerous from this spot. Alquak weaving in, takes a shot. Dorigo was ready.
Pace and intensity has picked up here a little bit in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, business is picking up late on a Sunday. And Kyle, we talked coming out of halftime, the importance for Carolina of putting the shots on frame. Make Hugo Dorigo do the work. Check out that disparity first half versus second half.
Yeah, that had to have been a big point of what they were talking about in that locker room, is making sure your shots were good shots and creating an opportunity to possibly get a goal.
California Baptist has never beaten a power conference team in their program history. That feels like the next step for them. They've made the tournament, taking care of business, advancing in that event last year. But a win over a team like a North Carolina or like a West Virginia that they play next week, that's a big one for the program. Mendez. Flag stays down. Mendez toward the far post. Ball was well too strong for a runner. Well too far past the post to be a shot attempt.
Looks like that one must have come off the outside of his foot. Nice ball to find him at the top of the 18. And yeah, just never got around that ball and had to come off the outside part of his foot.
First team junior college All-American back in 2022, Alex Mendez. 16 goals and 13 assists for Mount San Antonio College that season.
That's going to be a card.
John McCloskey. And there was a head collision. Karlampos and Hilly. Let's watch it here. Yep.
A little bit of that shove at the end as well.
This is all in the interest of safety. Hilly will be evaluated. California Baptist will have possession. Hilly will re-enter the game for Carolina. Now made a good ball into space. Hallenberger. And whistle blows the California Baptist foul.
Sawano's got some legs getting loose over on that sideline. We saw Hansen in the first half and how big of an impact he had off the bench.
But with the new substitution rule, when you take somebody out in the second half, they are done. So you want to get everything possible out of Avician or a Hilly or whoever you might be thinking about pulling off if you are Carlos Sawano. Check. Williams, can he keep it in? The answer is yes. It's back out. Check with space. Blocked. Falls fortuitously to Mendez on the counter. Lancers don't have numbers. A good job to hustle back and create an advantage. Harper heads it away. Parker O'Farrell turns. The openness of this second half, especially compared to the late stages of the first half. It's been entertaining. It's been fun. Who will break through with this game's first goal? Alquak lost it. North Carolina in home openers under Carlos Samuano, 11-0-2. Draws in 2019 against Creighton and last season against Loyola Maryland. Other than that, 11 victories. D'Agostino against Harper, who's been active. Riley Thomas frustrated with the foul call. Vocal leader of this team, wearing that captain's armband and putting it into practice. All the way back for Hugo Durego. Clean sheet Thursday against American for the sophomore from Luxembourg.
And regardless of how this one ends, 7 saves so far tonight. He has looked really impressive. I think they've got to feel comfortable with the fact that, hey, this is our guy for the year in between the pipes.
That was a situation Co Michelson said, you know, we think we've got it figured out. We think we know where our priorities are there and who's going to win the job. But as you said, Kyle, that answer seems to be settled for the Lancers.
And they thought, because until you actually see it in a game against a different uniform, you're just not quite sure.
Substitution for the Tar Heels. Sophomore from Winston-Salem, Tate Lorentz into the game, as well as Batil Hansen. So Hilly is done. As is Cafaro. For Lorentz, it's only the second time he's played in a regular season game as a Tar Heel. Winston-Salem sophomore. One appearance last year against Duke.
Carolina just relentless on defense.
Vitchian, big ball. Here's Hansen with the fresh legs. Henderson's head gets there. Physical play, Acosta and Karlampos. Acosta taken down by Karlampos.
I think a little bit of frustration there from Karlampos after a tough battle to gain possession.
And halfway through this second 45, Carolina will have a dangerous free kick.
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing of keeping possession or winning possession is keeping your feet. You see Karlampos 2 different times lose his feet, go down to the turf, and the second one results in him getting whistled for a foul.
Okay, Kyle, 23, 25-ish yards out, straight away from goal.
There's only one man that's lining up on the ball. I don't think Carolina's going to try and do anything fancy here. It's their big goal scorer. He's got an opportunity.
Martin Vitchian hammered home the penalty kick goal to beat UAB on Thursday night. He stands over it here. Vitchian blasts it. Durego pushes it away.
Wow, you can't ask for a better strike from that from Vitchian. Able to get it by the wall cleanly. Bending towards that corner, and just a great save from Durego.
Hugo Durego standing on his head for the Lancers.
Punch that one out.
Second ball, though, won by Acosta. The threat far from over. Williams to the top of the 6. Vitchian's header sails high. That's a sequence, Kyle, that if this game ends up in a 0-0 draw, if it ends up in a 1-0 California Baptist scoreline 20 minutes from now, that's a sequence I think you're going to look back on if you're North Carolina.
Absolutely. It's one that they're going to want back. That and a couple of opportunities ago when they had that ball trickle off and a defender kicked it out. But what it's doing for Dorrego is every time he makes a save, that confidence is ticking up another level and another level.
St. Laurent's the substitute. He is fouled. That's where this game can also change, as California Baptist has been a little aggressive here, and John McCloskey, the center referee, has done a good job making sure that it doesn't get out of control. But the physicality and aggression with physicality has picked up.
Got to get a couple of subs here for the Lancers, it looks like.
Kronstad to the bench. Quizbell in. Quizbell started the game. The Butler transfer. O'Farrell past Vichy, and it'll trickle away. Leo Mendez back in the game as well for California Baptist, as well as Luca Casamara. So starting to see how the strategy plays out in a world where you can't make the substitution in return in the second half.
You can't play 15 minutes, sit
Exactly.
15, come back on for 15.
So Co Michelson kept those 3 starters until these final 20 minutes. Gustafson had a great save off the goal line a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, that's something that I think you'll see throughout the year kind of evolve as coaches figure out what is going to work best for their team in terms of those rests, and also as teams and players get more endurance.
Yeah, for California Baptist, this is the end of a cross-country trip. I mean, played Thursday. 90 scoreless minutes against American, then the 4-hour and change bus ride down from Washington. Laurent's off the bench. Tate Laurent's looking for a moment of brilliance. Out off of California Baptist in the Carolina corner.
Smart play there. Carolina didn't really have numbers forward, but able to get deep and just get yourself an opportunity off of it. Get the corner.
Sam Williams over the ball. Low corner, Vichian. Second ball, Harper sends it high. So now, Kyle, as this game goes along, and still 17 minutes to go, if you're California Baptist, are you staying in a more open style? Are you looking for the win here while knowing you could give up a backbreaker to ultimately walk out of here with a 1-0 defeat? Or are you playing for nothing at this juncture?
Because of what we talked about in the first half, that this game, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean anything to California Baptist unless it's a win. There's no negative for them in the outcome here, even if it is a loss. I think you try and take more risks and steal this one from Carolina, because the Tar Heels have been the better team for the majority of the night. The numbers aren't lying. 23 shots to just 2. They've had more possession, but man, it's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. You do what you can to try and get that one.
Hallenberger had a step on Acosta. Quizbell will switch the point of attack.
And I'll also throw in the way that Dorrego has been playing gives you that confidence that, hey, we can leave it open on the back end a little bit to try and take a risk, because Dorrego is going to pick it up.
For sure. Here is Dorrego. 8 saves to the name of the Luxembourg native. Gustafson down the right flank. 13 in blue is Kieran Robson, junior from Redlands, California. Key reserve yet again this season for California Baptist. Leo Mendez, leading returning point scorer for the Lancers. Henderson, pursued from Vitchian. How much is left in the tank for Martin Vitchian? Robson bends it on. Cordes lets it float to him. Final quarter hour. The home opener for North Carolina, 1-0 on the season. California Baptist 0-1. Lancers potentially headed toward their second straight scoreless draw to open the campaign. Not if Batil Hansen has anything to say about it, though. The speed, the Carolina freshman from Denmark, impressive off the bench.
Under 15 and no overtime. If you're going to have any more subs, now's the time to bring them in.
There are some bodies up and stretching for Carolina. See what buttons Carlos Samuano pushes. There is no doubt the Tar Heels are the deeper team in terms of number of bodies available. Daniel Lugo, left side of your screen there, played off the bench in the first half, 17-1. Farrell stepping in for the suspended Tate Johnson tonight. Switches for Hansen. Good header for Lorenz. Lorenz keeps it at his feet. Takes a look. Durego there.
It was a nice job of settling that one to get the shot off. Just no rebound, no extra opportunity, no second chance there for the Heels.
It's also a situation where you would like another runner to the near post. Maybe get Lorenz the chance to cross it. Alquak. Off the tackle attempt is fouled. And you ask about substitutions, Kyle. Here's the moment for the Tar Heels. The graduate student they call JMO, Jamison Charles. Haitian native by way of Minneapolis, utilizing the extra year of eligibility to play a 5th season for Carolina. He'll spell Sam Williams. Charles, 20 appearances, 2 starts last season.
13 minutes to go. Just be that person that's different than everybody else, right? You're playing at a different level than everybody else because you're totally fresh.
It's Acosta and O'Farrell over the ball. After some trickeration, Acosta serves it right to Durego at the top of the 6-yard box. Tar Heels have had the advantage not only in shots but in set pieces tonight, unable to capitalize on any of them. California Baptist have a goal-scoring buildup in them. Henderson sends it long down the flank. Kept in along the sidelines. Thomas didn't strike it cleanly. Charles there to clean it up. Dispossessed. Thomas being pursued back. Even without possession, California Baptist able to move the ball all the way up into their attacking third there.
That was something that we didn't see at all in the first half. Their ability to just slowly and incrementally move and advance up the field.
Night is done for Vitchian. Lugo back in for the Tar Heels with 11.5 to play. 11.5 to go. The Tar Heels will complete regulation with fresher legs, but not their leading goal scorer among returners on this roster. Does this home opener for North Carolina have a goal in it from either side? O'Farrell has it taken away. California Baptist has gone from a one out front to more of a two out front look with Mendez since his return and Robson. Nice footwork from the veteran Hallenberger. Hallenberger a step on Charles. Can't put it on frame though.
That was really good work all the way up until the shot, and honestly I think it's not on frame because of just sheer exhaustion at this point.
Josh Hallenberger has played 69 of the potential 80 minutes so far. Kazamara, ACC experience for him at Pitt.
Characteristic turnover from Carolina.
Result in a deep throw for the Lancers. 10 minutes to go. Harmlessly toward Cortez. Did he touch that over the line? Oh, he did.
I think he read that as it was off of a Carolina player.
Okay. So it'll be a corner.
I mean, that's the only reason I can imagine that he went to go pick that up. And yeah, it was off of one of his defenders. He tried to get to it before it went out and just couldn't get there in time.
Great shot from our crew there. Quizbell over the ball. Headed on. Dalmeida wins the second ball deep in the corner. Lancers keep possession. Robson out for Karlampos. He'll serve it in.
Right thought, but you want to serve that one about 5 yards into that 18-yard box. Don't give the keeper an opportunity to go grab it.
Alquak. Play on, says the referee McCloskey. Hallenberger, you made the point about a minute ago, Kyle. He looks to be tiring heavily.
There's a lot of players out here that are just absolutely gassed. And early in the season, high-intensity matchup, not surprised. Their only saving grace is that it's been a relatively cool night in August here in Chapel Hill, and that's not really typical.
You could do much worse for the month of August. Relatively low humidity last several days here. It'll bounce away, out of bounds. Let's see who touched it last. It is out off of California Baptist. It'll be a Carolina throw, and the Tar Heels will make a substitution. Andres Cardenas will come into the game. Senior from Davie, Florida. Featured 13 times a season ago. Tate Lorenz, who gave some good minutes off the bench in just his second career appearance, will head to the bench now. Cardenas doesn't have numbers. Into the corner he goes. Connects with Check. Check. Can't get the corner, turns.
Pleading his case. He wanted the corner, but they're going to give that one a goal kick.
Either the corner is saying it was out off California Baptist or that he was fouled there. California Baptist has never beaten a power conference team. Fell last season to Michigan, to West Virginia. California, now a conference foe of the Tar Heels. Golden Bears will be here at Dorrance in late September. And the throw will go Carolina's way here. Jamison Charles, substitute. Check takes some contact. Oh, that is frustration from Luis Barrero. He's got to be careful there. A sophomore from Hamburg, Germany. De Almeida. Good connection with Karlampos. Turns it upfield. Can Mendez get there? He can, but the flag goes up for offside.
Every time that whistle blows, you look out on the field and there's a half a dozen, it doesn't matter what jersey, half a dozen players, hands on knees, getting as many oxygen breaths in as they can before they got to go back at it. And they know at this point in the game, you've got to give everything you have. You can't even give just a little bit of a break, because that's all it's going to take for one team to break through and get a goal.
Teams that have fought so hard now for nearly 85 minutes. In the case of the Tar Heels, trying to earn what would likely be a second straight 1-0 win to open up the season. In the case of California Baptist, another major step forward in the rapid growth and ascension of their men's soccer program. Cardenas is fouled.
Those fresh legs were able to get around the defender and got caught pulling jersey.
Thomas restarting quickly to Cardenas. He'll serve it in past Lugo. Ball squirts away into space. No one there for Carolina. No room to operate for Robson in California Baptist. He'll evade Lugo, who pursues quickly. Acosta closes him down. Acosta loses the footing, and O'Farrell takes it back in play. Cardenas out wide. Cardenas the substitute for the speedy Hansen. Cut out by Henderson, who has been everywhere. A workmanlike night. Four to play. Hansen steps through a couple. Alquak dispossessed by who else but Henderson. Defensive duo. Hugo Dorrego in goal, and the center back Alex Henderson. Alquak, long range shot, not on frame. Perhaps one last sub here for California Baptist to get some fresh legs in. It's Luca Contestable, graduate student out of Minnesota, transfer from the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. The clock does stop on that substitution inside 5 to go in the tie game.
Yeah, that's a rule that I'd be fine with the international level adapting and adopting from the college game. Instead of a running clock and then we have to guess how much time is getting adding on, let's just stop it. Play 45 when the 45 is done, when you're good. There's no guessing game anymore.
I don't disagree, but many traditionalists love that concept of stoppage time, a little bit of mystery involved. But we're on the same page. Here we know, under 3 minutes to go. That's what separates California Baptist from a second straight scoreless draw to open their season. North Carolina would fail to win a home opener for just the third time under Carlos Samuano, but second straight year. This game can still change moment's notice. Andrew Check. Samara sent it away. Clock brought to a stop with 2:10 left. Alquak. Out for Check.
They can get it to the middle of the field. Charles has got a lot of space.
And they do. Here is Jamison Charles with that space, but closed down quickly by Contestable and plays it all the way back to the midline.
Should have just kept it coming across. He had Acosta as well.
Parker O'Farrell now. 100 seconds to go. Isbell dispossessed it. Ball bounces around. California Baptist bangs it away. Can Leo Mendez get there? Chasing from behind on Riley Thomas. North Carolina hung their hat on their defense a year ago. Conceded just 15 goals. Blatant jersey pull there.
Not an easier call on the night for the referee.
That is a yellow card all the way.
You remember the movie The Little Titans? They pulled the jersey as he running towards the end zone. That's what that looked like.
We had seen some frustration a couple of minutes ago from Luis Barrero. Now if you're California Baptist, you cannot let this ruin what has been a remarkable 89 minutes defensively. Cardenas slips it through. Alquak for Hansen. Hansen couldn't get a clean look. Still keeps it alive. Bounces free. Cleared away with under a minute left.
I love that Carolina didn't take the free kick and play it in, but instead played forward. Got an opportunity in the box. Got to be ready for the one-timer, though.
Still time for the Tar Heels. It's Alquak. Alquak. Heavy for Hansen. Dorrego slides away to smother it. Now can California Baptist do anything with 30 seconds? Not a huge sense of urgency here from Hugo Dorrego. If anything, it's going to be one crack for the Lancers. Dorrego bangs it away. 15 seconds. First ball won by Carolina. Second ball by California Baptist. Robson with 10. Robson, ball forward for Contestable. Played away by Harper, and that should do it. A second consecutive scoreless draw for California Baptist to open up the season. And North Carolina still yet to concede as well through 2 games. Kyle.
Defensively, both coaches have got to be ecstatic. Defense is